You might not remember, but Rudy Gobert was patient zero for the COVID pandemic in the NBA, and his attempt at humor before being diagnosed didn't go over so well. Of course, it was going to spread like wildfire anyway, but it didn't help matters in the locker room, and we've seen public hints at Donovan Mitchell's feelings towards Rudy ever since. And that's when this viral tweet popped up in my timeline. So I thought to myself, is there anything to this? Is Donovan Mitchell simply refusing to pass to Rudy Gobert on purpose? A quick look at some of the year-over-year tracking stats certainly makes you wonder, as it was just 3 seasons ago that Mitchell threw 2.5 times more passes per game to the big guy. But a deeper look, and you'll see that the minutes for the two-man lineup of Mitchell and Gobert has dropped significantly over the past 2 seasons. And wouldn't you know it, the Jazz offensive rating has made a big jump, as Quin Snyder has managed the offense and his substitution patterns better. But is there anything to this notion that his teammates don't want to pass to Gobert? I took a deep dive into the footage, and the first thing we need to establish right off the bat is that Rudy isn't an equal opportunity offensive player in the Jazz system. His primary role is to set as many picks and down screens as he possibly can, which eliminates a ton of actions that would even allow him to catch the ball. Notice that before the last 2 years, Gobert touched the ball a whole lot more, which you can see here when they were willing to swing it back to the top before he'd inevitably run a dribble handoff. Or he'd get a high post touch and they'd run some sort of split action around him. Most of these actions have been obliterated in the Jazz offense now, and based on the results, it was a great idea by Snyder to make this adjustment to keep the ball away from Rudy more often. But, and there's always a but, there are some issues with his offensive game that would completely explain why his teammates would not want to pass him the ball. While I fully acknowledge his hands have gotten better, he's never been able to smooth out the outsized awkwardness he displays in his movement pattern during each possession. So picture yourself as a teammate of his, witness to some of the more baffling kinds of turnovers you're going to see, and then ask yourself, would I pass it to him that much? Would I risk putting him in a situation that might not even get us a shot at the basket? While the number of turnovers per game could be considered low for his position, compare that to the amount of touches other centers get per game, and you realize that Gobert turns it over way too often. I noticed he's got an interesting pattern of getting stripped after grabbing the rebound, with defenders sensing he struggles to both protect the ball and control it even when it's safely in his hands. And you can bet that playoff teams are looking at these clips even more closely than I am, in order to capitalize at an opportune time that could shift the key game of a series. So here's a pop quiz. What should Mike Conley do with the ball in this instant? If you answered C, pass to Daniel House to the left wing, you win the prize. Here's another quiz. What's your Instagram password? That's what I figured. You probably don't remember it. That's okay, because Keeper can safely store all your passwords for you. Just remember one password and Keeper can take care of all the rest, including telling you if the password to your Gmail account is way too easy. Heck, they'll create the password for you to avoid any kind of data breaches or online theft. It's also a great way to protect private files, and it costs just $3 a month for Keeper Unlimited. After all, what price would you pay to protect you, your family, and your business? Keeper can automatically connect with my browser to quickly sync up all of my existing passwords. I had over 500 of them, a titanic time saver. Best of all, click on the link in the description and use my code to get a 30% discount right now. That includes 24/7 support, the easy-to-use app, and emergency access built in. This is the kind of protection your digital life needs, and it's just like the protection Rudy Gobert offers in the paint when his teammates in the perimeter get beat, which is early and often. However, he has his own struggles around the rim when he can't catch it out of the air and dunk it through. There is evidence that he can receive a short roll and make a competent move towards the rim for points, but again, put yourself in his teammates' shoes when these kinds of miscues happen from a position on the court where you'd expect only good things to happen for your offense. With this in mind, it's clear to me why all his teammates would refrain from giving him more opportunities in space on this end of the floor. I'm not sure Rudy minds either. He must know how flustered he can get once he gets the ball and defenders converge to make him cough it up. I went through their recent game against the best team in the West, the Phoenix Suns, and his first several touches alone would help you understand why you'd think twice about passing it to Gobert. We do get a high post entry from Mitchell to Gobert, then another high post touch gets deep penetration, but what should be an easy dunk turns into a missed shot. Conley runs pinch post with Gobert, draws Gobert's man, so he lays down the easy pocket pass. With Mitchell open on the right wing, he decides to put the ball down on the ground, and it's an easy pickoff for Crowder. This time, Bogdanovic feeds him at the elbow before running some split action and getting open on the back door. Gobert is not only late with the pass, it should have been a bounce pass, and they lose another scoring opportunity. Here's a fuller explanation on why he doesn't get many touches as a function of their offense. He sets a flare screen at the right elbow, then runs above the three-point line to set another flare screen, then turns around to set an inside ball screen, all while his man is just zoning up the paint and getting in other people's way. The clock winds down, leaving Mitchell no space to drive, and he has to burp up this tough long two. A typical Jazz possession will see the ball swung back out top to Mitchell, with Rudy running over to set the ball screen. However, watch how his man can just drop to contain. Mitchell rarely gets a driving lane on a Gobert ball screen, and he has to take a tough three with Bridges strongly contesting from behind. When it works really well, as Rudy just hovers above the free throw line looking for someone to screen. This skip pass allows Conley to attack on the catch with the ball screen at the same time. Rudy doesn't always get going downhill this quickly, and as a result, he finds an opening for a nice finish. But it's hard to say Mitchell won't pass to Gobert when you see a play like this, a gorgeous one-timer. Rudy doesn't catch it cleanly, however, and the regather allows the defense to put him on the line. While he has been a little bit better from the free throw line this season over his career average, the inconsistency of his stroke is another reason why teammates might be weary of passing the ball to him, as he has never been able to time his wrist snap to the release properly. Sometimes he gets close, and those are the ones that go in more often, but when he gets miscalibrated like this, it can be hard to watch. So in the end, what did we learn? I think the key to making the Jazz offense work better was clearly to limit the amount of touches Rudy gets in the half court. His on-off offensive rating gives us a sign that he's not necessarily helping much on that end, but the team clearly plays better defensively when he's roaming the paint, so it's a net positive overall. That said, when you get to the deepest levels of the playoffs, with a player that doesn't contribute enough offensively from this position, it can hold you back against the other top teams in the West. And if your top two players struggle to work together optimally on offense, with possible locker room issues as well, then there isn't much of a choice. Get as much value back as you can for a player that gets more and more obsolete as each year of the modern NBA goes by.